personally, professionally, financially. Maybe you're already in real estate. No matter where you are, if for any reason you have thought about getting into real estate investing and you believe that there's something in the real estate investing arena that you want to get into and learn more about, I'm telling you right now, as a full-time creative real estate investor, I'll be the first one to tell you that you need to add to your learning list the creative side of real estate investing. Okay? Creative real estate investing, for those of you that have never heard me talk about it, or you hadn't really put a lot of thought or time behind learning about creative real estate investing, it is simply the non-traditional way for buying and selling real estate. All right? So there are many people who are in the real estate investing world. A lot of people who are in the real estate investing world, I probably should say most people who are in the real estate investing world, they invest in real estate traditionally or conventionally, meaning that they locate properties that they want to buy, they put deals together, they get loans from their lender or mortgage companies or banks, or they may have hard money lenders, or they may just have cash money sitting aside from a business that they've saved money, and they purchase the home or the property, whatever it is. They rent it out, they fix it, they flip it, they do whatever they do. That's more of the traditional or the conventional way of doing real estate. Creative real estate investing is essentially the same, where you got to identify with a property, you have to put the deal together, but the creative side is that you might not necessarily depend on getting a loan from a bank or getting your credit score up to a certain place so that you can have a low interest rate, or doing all the things that a traditional or conventional real estate investor does. A creative real estate investor will either, put together a deal where they can get financing from the owner of that property, which is what we call owner financing or seller financing, or they're going to try to put together a deal or structure some type of terms where if there's an existing loan or mortgage on that piece of real estate, they may try to figure out how they can acquire the real estate and just take over whatever the loan is. So there are many ways to do creative real estate investing, but I want to just simplify and differentiate a creative real estate investor from a conventional real estate investor. And again, today, my goal is to share with you 3 must-haves as a creative real estate investor. So if you want to be a non-traditional real estate investor, if you want to become more creative in how you pursue your real estate investing journey, and the truth is this, outside of real estate, as a person, you should be creative. Just as an individual, if you are a W-2 employee, you should be creative. If you're an independent contractor, whether that means you're a network marketer, a real estate agent, an insurance agent, a freelancer, or if you are a legitimate business owner, no matter what you do, you should be creative. All right. And so these are 3 must-haves, especially if you want to be creative in your real estate investing. Okay. So the first must-have, and all of this information that I'm sharing with you, it's really a part of my curriculum. It's a part of my mentorship, my coaching. I've got people that I've been literally coaching for over 3 years now. And some of these people have been on a journey with me for the last 3 years. I've got people in my coaching program that I've mentored for the last 3 years. I've literally helped them from where they started at 3 years ago to where we are with them today, where we sat down with them, we helped them structure the right entity, we helped them put their holding company together, we helped them put whatever subsidiaries that they needed. We help them package their products, their services, price their products and services. We showed them how to set up their systems and processes. We showed them how to market for marketing and sales and their financials, like everything. And guess what? Now some of them are transitioning over into taking the money that they've made, the money that they're managing, and we're showing them how to now multiply that money by putting that money in vehicles like real estate, but doing it in a creative way so that they don't have limitations from banks, or they're not restricted because of credit issues, or they don't have the right credentials or paperwork. I mean, one of the big games that entrepreneurs and real estate investors play is the game of lowering your taxes, making sure your tax liability is low while maximizing your profits. So getting into real estate helps you with that. So if you want to be a creative real estate investor, I'm going to give you 3 must-haves, okay? The first must-have is you must deprogram. You got to deprogram your mind from the traditional or the conventional way of doing real estate. This is the first thing. This is like a must-have. You have to deprogram, and then you're going to have to reprogram your mind to the non-traditional. This is a must-have or creative way. Okay? This is something that must happen with your mind. A lot of this is a mind game. Like we every Monday night we have a coaching call, right? It's a private coaching call. So we're on the coaching call last night, and one of the members of our mentorship community, he said he started telling me, he was like, you know, he wasn't into real estate. He said, I wasn't even thinking about investing in real estate. I wasn't into real estate until last Monday. He was talking about last week when you mentioned that you was going to have a workshop for us. Because I do these workshops for the people in our community, just to give them the nuts and bolts of a lot of stuff that they always hear me running my mouth about. And he said, I wasn't interested in it until you said you was doing a workshop. He said, so I decided to come to the workshop, which was just this past Saturday. This was the workshop, creative real estate workshop, like 30-something pages. This was just one workshop. And I'm telling you, it was a whole lot of information in that workshop. But anyway, he said, I wasn't interested in it until you brought it up. He said, then he came to the workshop. Of course, it was virtual because I think he's in New York somewhere. He said, but now you have convinced me that real estate is the way, just based on some of my arguments as to why you need to be in real estate and how you should be creative if you're going to be in real estate. But this is the must-have. Number one, you must deprogram your minds from traditional or conventional real estate investing. And you got to reprogram your mind to a non-traditional, creative way of doing things. See, people, when they think about anything, even if it's not real estate, let's say, for example, if you need to go buy a car, or if you want to go buy a house, right? When you think about making those type of purchases, most people, they have been programmed to believe the only way I can get a car, the only way I can buy a house, the only way I can invest in something is the traditional, conventional way. Well, who programmed your mind to believe in order for you to be a owner of real estate, in order for you to be a investor in real estate, that there's only one way to do it? Who convinced you of that? I'm going to tell you who convinced you of that. People who know nothing about creative real estate. So you have been programmed to believe that if you don't check the traditional box, if you don't check the conventional box, you must be doing something wrong. You must be shabby, shady, ratchet, doing something illegal, immoral, unethical. Says who? Someone who has never thought outside the box? Someone who ain't never did nothing outside the box? I have literally had people tell me what I was telling them about what I do every day and what my wife and I have done in real estate for over 20 years. I've literally had people to tell me that, yeah, it sounds a little questionable. Yeah, because you ain't never did it. Of course, you're going to always question and, might I say, criticize something you ain't never did. You're going to always question and criticize something you have no knowledge or experience in. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to be, and if you're going to be a creative real estate investor and you want to be successful and you want to get out of the matrix that may have you stuck, or if you want to get off the grid of the traditional way of doing things that limits you to a certain amount of activity, if you want to break away from that, you're going to have to deprogram your mind. Ramon, what do you mean by deprogramming your mind? You got to get rid of all this junk, all these lies, all this limited information that keeps you stuck, making you think that the only way you can do something is if you do it this way. My grandma used to always say it. You know, old people used to say it. It's more than one way to skin a cat. It's more than one way to skin a cat. So when you deprogram yourself, that means approaching something has to change, okay? So if we think about deprogramming our minds from traditional or conventional real estate investing, that means when you think about investing in real estate, don't automatically default your mind to, oh, I got to get a loan. Or I need a 700 credit score. Oh, I need $120,000 to put down. That's a program mentality. You might not need none of that. You don't know because you've never opened up your mind and reprogrammed it to think outside of this little box. Our minds are in boxes. And I'm so thankful because I come from a world where I ain't have no choice but to think out the box. Because I didn't have a formal education. My background is bad. I mean, I got a track record from my teenage years just as long as 75. So when I got saved and got clean and decided to live my life righteous and moral and legal and to be an upstanding man of God and a productive citizen in my community, that's when I realized I didn't have a whole lot of traditional credibility. I didn't have a whole lot of traditional credit worthiness. I didn't have any traditional support and reinforcement from people who had something. So I had to create something. I had to get creative in how I was going to take care of my family and raise my children and be a blessing to my church and be a leader as a man of God in my community. And once I started elevating my mind and deprogramming myself from the traditional limitations of how you make money and how you build a business and how you invest and how you build wealth and how you create a legacy, that's when I decided, you know what? My default mode is not going to be this program mentality of limitation. I'm going to deprogram myself from all this junk that I heard people say who ain't never have nothing anyway. I'm going to reprogram my mind to think not inside the box, but I'm going to think outside this doggone box. So instead of saying, I can't afford it, I can't do it, I started reprogramming my mind. How can I afford it? How can I do it? Is there a legal, ethical, moral, impactful way to do it without the limitations of what people think it has to be? And guess what? I found out that people do it every day. So again, you must deprogram your minds from the traditional or the conventional, and you must reprogram your minds to the non-traditional and to the creative, okay? So you're going to have to work on that, and that's going to take some time. It's going to take time, but more importantly, it's going to take you educating yourself. Like It amazes me. And I don't want to get on this soapbox and start just throwing shade. But I'm telling y'all, it amazes me how many people who want to be rich, who want to be financially free, they want to be the lender, not the borrower, the head, not the tail, above, not beneath. They want to be the ballers, the shot callers. They want to build legacies. They want to do all this stuff, and they don't want to learn nothing. They goofy. They don't want to read books. They don't want to take courses. They don't want to be coached. They don't want to hire consultants. They don't want to pay to get in the right rooms. How you going to get anywhere? And all you doing is just listening to the same crap that ain't getting you nowhere. At some point, you got to educate yourself. At some point, you got to learn something. And you probably going to have to learn it from people who paid a lot of time, energy, years of work and sacrifice and money to get it. You probably going to have to pay for it. So if you ain't willing and ready to pay for nothing, I mean, come on. You can't be stingy and stupid. Come on. You don't want to be both. But you will be if you one of the two. If you stupid, you probably stingy. If you stingy, you stupid. So that's must-have number one. Second must-have. You must, please hear this, master. We're talking about if you want to become a creative real estate investor, you must master solving problems. You must master solving problems, and you must master seeing problems as motivations. So let me explain something to you. The most successful real estate investors are the real estate investors who have mastered solving problems. Okay? So there are people on this planet, unfortunately, who, let me just draw my little stick person. There are people on this planet, okay, and I'm saying unfortunately, but it is what it is. I always remind my team and I remind people that I mentor and work with all the time that, listen, you can't take the blame for the problems people have who happen to own real estate. It is what it is. Life happens, okay? Things change. So it could be financial problems. It could be physical problems, emotional, marital, life, job, career, market, social issues. Things happen, okay? So you can't feel bad about the fact that people have problems. And some of the people who have problems are people who own assets like real estate. It's life, y'all. It's life. So all this crap people be talking about, oh, y'all real estate investors are slimy and all they want to do is steal your houses. Like, I'm sure there are scumbags everywhere. You can always find a scumbag. You can find a scumbag anywhere. If you look in a church, if you look in a club, if you look in a grocery store, if you look in a liquor store, if you look on the street corner, if you go to a game, anywhere you go, they're going to always be idiots, scumbags, just ridiculous people. But guess what? In all of those places, there are also people who mean well, people who want to do good, people who trying their best to live their lives a certain way and help as many people as possible. So all I'm saying to you is, when you're not programmed to look negative at everything and you're reprogrammed to see things positively, you now understand, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're following me, that people who own real estate, people who don't own real estate, people who drive cars, people who don't drive cars, people who wear nice clothes and who don't wear nice clothes, all people have problems. Can we all agree on that? Come on, y'all. Can we all agree on that? Can we all agree that everybody got problems? Okay? But what we're saying is, as real estate investors, we are in an industry that revolves around real estate, pieces of property. And the people who own these properties that happen to have problems, we are in a business to provide a service of solving the problems that they have regarding that piece of property. And you, as a real estate investor who wants to get in the creative space of investing, you must master solving problems. Notice, I didn't say the first thing you need to master is making money. Because I promise you, if you solve enough problems, you will never not make enough money. Does that make sense? Money is not your problem. And if money is your problem, it's going to affect your motivation. So your motivation should not be driven by your money problems. Your motivation should be the fact that you know that there are people who have real estate that have problems that you need to help solve. And you need to master solving problems and master seeing their problems as the motivations for why they need to do a deal. Now, a lot of times people have motivations to sell their property, but their motivation is something that they didn't ask for. There are millions of people right now. There are some reports that have just recently come out to show that there are about 5 million people right now in the United States of America. And this is just what we know is documented. That number could really be 10 million. But let's just say conservatively, there are reports that are showing there's at least 5 million people right now in the United States of America who own real estate and who are behind on their mortgages. They're in default. Many of them are in foreclosure. Many of them are on the verge of losing their properties. Now, for me, as someone who wants to help people, who's in the business of real estate, who's a community leader, who's an educator, I see that as an opportunity, not just to make money, but I see it as an opportunity to solve people's problems. And those people are motivated to do something, not because they want to, maybe because they have to. Now, you can look at me and say, oh, it's wrong for you to look at people's problems and try to figure out how you can solve it, code for take their house. Okay, what if I and other real estates just sit on the sideline and do nothing? What if we don't do nothing? For those of you that want to argue the other side, what if we don't do nothing then? What if we just live our own lives and do our own things and don't pay attention to none of this? Then what's going to happen? Then it'll be people coming out, man, we need to do something for our people. We need to change things. We need to help those who need help. It's always somebody who got an angle against what somebody else is doing. We ain't thinking about those people. As a creative real estate investor, you need to master solving these people's problems because you didn't start this problem. You didn't create this problem, okay? And whoever created it obviously don't want to fix it or ain't trying to fix it. So we coming along saying, you know what? I'm going to do what I can to solve this problem. Let me give you another example if that's too much for you. Okay, if a landscaper who cuts grass and trims trees does that for a living, are they wrong because they're trying to show somebody who has grass all around their house up to the windows that they need to cut it? No, they're trying to solve a problem. They're trying to help that homeowner. If somebody wash cars and they got a car wash and they see somebody with a dirty, dingy, muddy car and they give them a card and they tell them why they want to keep their car detailed so that it don't destroy the paint and for oxidation purposes, are they trying to manipulate people? Are they trying to get over? No, they're trying to provide a service. This is just my argument for anyone that wants to see it a different way. Okay? You need to master solving problems and you need to see those problems as motivations And when you see those problems as motivations for why this individual has to do something with this piece of real estate, you put them and you in a win-win situation. All right, let me keep going. Here's the third must-have, and I hope I'm helping somebody, because again, we live in a world where the moment you start thinking about doing something, the moment you hear somebody like me running my mouth in front of a camera on social media, live or recorded, you start bouncing around trying to find reasons why what we're saying is not right. And you're going to always find somebody who disagrees with somebody else. But you got to make it up in your mind. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? And how are you going to actually do it? And I'm just telling you, if you want to be a real estate investor, and if you want to do real estate investing, one of the best, most impactful ways to be it and do it is to add the creative side to your real estate investing, because you're most likely going to make a bigger impact, not just in your life and in your family's life, but you're most likely going to make a bigger impact in the lives of people that you come into contact with, because most of them have problems that conventional or traditional real estate investors or institutions can't fix. So it requires a creative investor to come in who can see outside of the box, think outside of the box, and come up with problems that they can solve, or come up with solutions to the problems that they see and solve to help people in their distress or just in their problem, whatever the situation is. Must have number 3. You must make strategic decisions for the highest and best use of your resources. Okay? So you must make strategic decisions. But your strategic decisions need to be for the highest and best use. I don't know if you've ever heard that phrase, okay? Highest and best use. So what that means is, if I have certain resources, okay, whether it's money, whether it's credibility, whether it's knowledge, whether it's time, whether it's a skill set, whether it's energy, whether it's a connection, any resource that I have, I've got to make sure that I am making strategic decisions for the highest and best use of those things that I have. Okay? So God has given me, I'm talking personal now, God has given me the ability, like I've always been since I've been saved and in ministry, God has given me the ability to educate people. But the good part about me having the God-given ability to educate, to communicate, to speak and articulate things, I live what I give people. So I'm not going to teach something I'm not living. I'm just not that person. I'm not a hypothetical, theoretical person who just likes to philosophize and hear themselves. I ain't talking about nothing I ain't living. If I'm not living it, I ain't talking about it. But if I'm living it and I'm doing it and I got a conviction about it, you ain't going to shut me up. You ain't going to, because you can't stop me. You understand? So when somebody is doing something and then they start talking about what they're doing, that person is unstoppable, because you can't convince them not to talk about it when they do it. They got a conviction to do it, and they probably got proof that it works for them, not that it works for everybody else. So what I'm saying to you is, when you make strategic decisions for the highest and best use of your resources, you don't waste time philosophizing, being hypothetical, talking theory, what ifs. You do work, you grind, you hustle, you roll up your sleeves, you get out there and you take action on what you believe you're supposed to be doing. So that when you start talking about it, you're not just believable in what you say, you're believable in what you do. And this is a problem not just with real estate investors, but this is a problem with a whole bunch of entrepreneurs. That's why I'm not wasting my time with people who always talk about what they finna do and what they thinking about and how they strategizing. Stop strategizing. Make a strategic decision so that whatever it is that God has given to you, make sure that it is being used for the highest and best use. Okay? So if real estate investing is the thing that you believe you should be doing, guess what? Stop believing it and start doing it. Let me say it again for the people in the back. If real estate investing is the thing that you believe you should be doing, that you believe you should be putting your time, your money, your energy, your efforts, your relationships, your credit, your skill set in, stop believing it's what you should be doing and do the doggone thing. My goodness, you need somebody like me as a coach to put some fire up under your behind to show you that, listen, there are people out there right now today while I'm running my mouth who doing it. And then there's a whole world of people who just keep talking. They just keep running their mouth about something they ain't doing. Especially if they running their mouth negatively criticizing something that they don't do. We definitely ain't got time for them. But if you want to be and plan on being a creative real estate investor and you want to be successful, I just gave you 3 must-haves. Number 1, you must deprogram your minds from the traditional, conventional way of doing it. Reprogram your minds to the non-traditional, creative way. You must master solving problems. You have to have empathy and compassion and concern for people. You got to be willing to serve people, okay? So you must master solving problems, and you have to master seeing problems as motivations. I didn't create the problem that I'm solving. So if I solve people's problems as a real estate investor and in exchange of solving their problem, I end up with a piece of real estate or end up with a little more money, it's not me who's the bad person. How am I the bad person? I just solved somebody's problem. I didn't create the problem. Now, if I'm creating this person's problem and then I'm manipulating the situation and backdoor this person to solve the problem I created, now, come on now. You just wrong. You wrong. You doing what some of these nations do, what dictators do. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you wake up every day and people got problems. And if there's a certain industry that you're in to solve problems and to serve, when you solve problems and serve people, you make money for it. You end up with assets for it. And you help those people, you help yourself, you help your family. So you must master solving problems, master seeing those problems as motivations for why people want to do deals. These are reasons why people want to do the deals that they do, okay? And then, number 3, you must make strategic decisions for the highest and best use of your resources. That means get off your behind and do something. Get up and do something. I do not waste my time with people. I'm telling y'all, that's why I don't hang around a lot of people, because I don't want to offend people and I don't want to come off as a jerk. But I just hate being around people who always talking about what they finna do and they never do nothing. They always talking about all this hypothetical stuff. They know everything, but they do nothing. I'm not going to hang around those people. And you shouldn't want to hang around those people. And one of the reasons why I don't is because I'm too busy executing. I'm too busy operating at the highest and best use of my time, my money, my resources, my life. I only got one life, my skill set. I have to put that into what's going to help me and my family build a legacy, and I want to make money doing it, and I want to help a whole lot of people in the process. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have a creative real estate investment coach, if you're not a part of a community that can help you build a real legitimate business, we have a program here, all right? It's called our Millionaire Mentorship Program. It's a program that we put together specifically for people who want to engineer million-dollar businesses. So we teach you all the ins and outs from starting and structuring holding companies. We show you how to integrate your systems and processes for your sales, your marketing, your financials. We help show you how to put a general operating system together. We teach creative real estate investment strategies. We have weekly coaching calls. We have an online educational program inside of our Millionaire Mentorship program called the Millionaire Blueprint. It's a video-based program with hundreds of videos. You can watch these videos at your own time from any device, anywhere in the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, on demand. And we also have regular workshops, one-day events where we come together in person or virtually, and we just do deep dives on real estate investing, deep dives on marketing, deep dives on sales, deep dives on systems and processes, deep dives on financial tax strategies. You know why? Because I know you can come from the bottom and engineer a real legitimate million-dollar business without doing anything illegal, without doing anything immoral, without doing anything unethical, and you can make a lot of money and help a whole lot of people in the process. So if you're interested in learning more, you want to get more information, maybe you have some questions, I would love to give you a copy of this creative real estate workbook along with the 4-hour, I think it's closer to 6-hour replay we have from just this past Saturday. But we have so many courses on real estate investing and we teach so much information. But if you want more information, here's what you need to do. You need to call or text the word mentor to one of these numbers, okay? I want you to take that down or screenshot it. 678-276-8253 or 8556. Screenshot those numbers. So you could text the word mentor to one of those numbers, or you can call one of those numbers. Any question you have, it could be about how to set your holding company up. It could be about how do I get started in real estate? You know, how do I become a creative real estate investor? We provide all that training for you. Like literally, we provide all the training. So I look forward to hearing from you. Please give me some feedback. Let me know what you thought about today's show. Was I a little too rough on you? I know I'm rough around the edges. I'm hard on myself and I'm hard on people. So, you know, I've already apologized way in advance because I know I can come off sometime as a jerk, especially when I get hard. And it feels like, man, why are you so hard on people? Because I want you to get it, especially people in my community. I'm a black man living in the United States of America. I'm a preacher. I'm a minister of the gospel. I've been a full-time minister longer than I was a full-time entrepreneur. But I've done both, my wife and I, for over 20 years of our marriage. Okay, I've been married for over 20 years. I got grandkids. I got a spiritual family. We got a church. We have an amazing ministry and business community. I love my people. And I want us, not just as black people, because I'm half white. My mama white. So it's not necessarily a race thing, even though black people are hit the hardest, but also Christians, believers. We need to know that, wow, I can love God. I can serve God. And I can make a whole lot of money to be a blessing to people. I can do it all. I don't have to give up one for the other and feel like I'm compromising my integrity. And you need to be around people who understand that stuff. Because a lot of people, especially in the Christian community, in the church, they don't understand both of those dynamics. It's either one or the other. Either you all church and broke, or either you all the world and no church. You need to have both. And you need to be integral and successful at the highest level with them all. So we have an amazing community. If you don't know anything about me, this is your first time watching me, just go to Google. You ain't even got to call or text. Go to Google and type in Ramon Preston and see what comes up. Okay, I see a couple comments. Appreciate y'all for joining. Tina, thank you, Tina. Tina said it's a matter of your mindset that will keep you moving forward or hold you back. Tina said, I'm a coach who empowers women. Am I wrong for helping women solve this problem? No, it happens in any business. That's right. Absolutely. Congratulations, Tina. Keep doing what you're doing, girl. Hey, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining the show today. As long as, this is my disclaimer, as long as I ain't stuck, tied up in a deal, making some moolah for me and my squad and family, I'll be back here tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Ramon Preston Show. Until then, peace.